Or did the like?
He had the station from 57 to 71, I believe. Is that about how many years is that?
20 years, 51 to 71. No, you said?
57 to
Oh,
71.
after you graduated high school.
Yeah, after we was married. We were both working at the garment factory.
So after you guys got married, that's when he started up the station.
And he'd go up there and buy gas, and they hit him up, well, why don't you just come to work for us, or something to that effect. So he did. He got $60 a week take-home pay. He was paid by the week, and he worked from 6 in the morning till 6 at night, 5 days a week, and worked till noon on Saturday, and he got $60 a week.
That's probably pretty good money back then, wasn't it? That's pretty decent money back then, wasn't it?
I guess. I'd been working all the time for 50 cents an hour, and paid 50 cents for my ride to ride over there, and bought my lunch. Had to buy my own lunch or take it, and we'd go to that White River Cafe, and it.
Where was it at?
Huh?
Where was that at?
It's downtown.
Is it down where the landing's at now, or was it up a little?
No, it was up the street where the next street crosses. That's Main Street runs up and down.
Yeah.
And this one goes back that way.
I'm with you.
Commercial or what? I can't remember what the name of the street is. But Maiden's Hardware was all the way at the end on the left, and then there was there was a cafe in there, Blue something, but they served liquor. We never did go in it. And Ball's office supply was across from the old theater. At one time the license bureau was down that, just past that, and it was a little long. I mean, it's a.
Was the train in down there back then?
Huh?
Did the train, was it running back then?
Uh-huh. Yeah, and Maiden's Hardware was at the end, and they're the Maidens that had these Maiden bottoms down here about where Birch's place.
Really?
Yeah. And then, and my dad knew them all. And then you come on up the street, and Risha's had the shoe store, and the Mercantile, which was just like a clothing store, kind of towels and all that kind of stuff, and clothes and all that. But they owned them both, and she ran the one, and Charlie ran the shoe store. And then they sold it out to her sister and her husband, and they didn't have no kids. And Joe Reese he was an only kid, and he was Linda's age. They was in the hospital, born at the same time, and Cleveland and Joe Reese.
So you never said how Granddad ended up. I mean, he went to work for him, but how did he end up owning the thing?
He didn't own it. He leased it.
He leased it from him. Okay. Well, they just finally got ready to retire or something like that,
yeah,
or
they just and well, they didn't ever retire. Harry went to work for Welch's Funeral Home, and he'd go to Kansas City and all around and pick up bodies and bring them back here if they lived there and wanted to come back here, or he'd take the bodies other places. He drove the
holy
hearse,
cow,
hauled these bodies around all over the country to where they wanted to be buried at.
I don't think that's the type of job I would ever
And
need.
he did that till he died. He's an old man, and he still did it. And then, as sad as it may seem, they had the two boys, Bill and Joe. And Joe still works on the zoning and planning, I think, up here at Forsyth. He may not, but he did forever. And but Bill got cancer, and he died. Then Bill's boy killed himself. And then I think Joe's son, what's that been, a couple of months or 3 or so ago? He died, but I thought he killed himself too. I'm not sure about that. Anyway, I mean, it just all had a bad ending, but the boys, I guess they just had everything they wanted and didn't have to work, and they didn't work at the station or nothing. But Glendon Brown worked.
So Glendon Brown did?
He worked for your granddad, Lonnie Kanister, Roy Grady.
I went to school with a feller named Johnny Kanister. He was a grade below me. And he lived out like between Mildred and Kirbyville.
I imagine there's some relation. But Lonnie, they lived down T Highway. Lonnie worked for White River Electric till he retired. Gilbert always said White River Electric got all his employees. Because Denton Hicks worked for Gilbert, and he went to work for White River. Roy Grady was working for White River. Lonnie Kanister went to work for White River. And, I don't know, he had a...
No, this Kanister kid, I know where his grandparents lived, actually. And I don't know if they lived there for a long time or if they just moved there, but they, you know where that MM Highway gas station is in Mildred? If you keep going straight past it on the highway, there's a sharp turn in the highway right there, a sharp curve, 90-degree, and a little road goes straight off of it.
Okay, and you're going towards Branson, and you turn like this, and the road goes like this?
Yep.
Yeah.
And they owned a house down there.
Okay.
So I don't know.
That's where Petersons lived. Dale and, what in the world was her name? Dorothy. Dale and Dorothy lived down that road, and they went to all them music things when we went. And they had 2 boys, and one of them was in Keith's grade. And he was in Boy Scouts when Keith was in Boy Scouts with them.
I just seen a big Boy Scout deal. Didn't even know it was there. Out on the way to Kimberly City. Did you guys ever let Keith go to any of that thing out there?
I don't know that it was there back then.
It was a road and it said Boy Scout Camp Retreat.
Wow.
And it's like up on one of them big hills that looks down over the lake, over Table Rock.
He went to Marshfield to get his high degree in the Boy Scouts. They camped up there, but they camped everywhere. But anyway, they all went to Marshfield, and they had a big old pond like pool thing, and they taught them all how to canoe, and they had to pass all this junk to get to be some kind of a scout.
Right.
I was digging in the closet here a while back, and there's Gilbert and Keith's old scout uniforms. Gilbert and let's see, Dan Snyder started the Boy Scouts.
Who did?
Dan Snyder, and he lived in a little bitty house down the highway on the left as you go down the hill before you turn back towards the dam. On the curve where all them trailer houses and stuff are. There's a little house there they built onto it, but
Were they related to Tom Snyder or no?
I don't think so. But I don't know that. It was Dan and Velma. And anyway, he kind of got it started. And then Jack Fitzpatrick, Arthur, you know Arthur Fitzpatrick?
I've heard that name, but...
Okay, he's got that big horse barn and all that as you start down H Highway